Okay, so covering three topics today. First one is, I guess, calories and diet. The second one there is going to be time management. And the third one is just general challenges about the current landscape, I guess. So, first one is the calories. So, I'm currently sitting at 2,502 calories in total, which is actually still really good, to be honest. It's more than I was eating prior to starting prep, which is really, really cool. Not horribly hungry across the day. There's definitely dips and ebbs and flows. And obviously, because we're trying to have all of our food around our workout window, the rest of the day you do get a bit peckish. So tonight I got quite hungry, sort of around about that 8:30 mark, and I was a bit peckish in between probably 10 until about 2 o'clock. I was kind of hungry, but outside of that, obviously you don't get hungry when you're working out, so that's good. And then you have a post-workout shake there, and then dinner, which is all close together, so that kind of fixes that scenario. In terms of the kinds of foods I'm eating, really, it's pretty plain. It's oats, berries, and protein. And then I get a bit of a sandwich there with some chicken and salad. I also get to have some chicken, rice, and vegetables for lunch. That's by choice, by the way. There was other options to choose from. It's just easier for me to prepare that. And then our post-workout meal is a post-workout shake. And then at 5 o'clock, I tend to have some rice cakes and protein as well, just to kind of keep it all together. And then my dinner will be a pulse pasta with kangaroo mince and veggies, and a little bit of passata, just like a tiny bit of passata. I can also have a Slendia sort of kind of, what is it? It's like zucchini and chili. So I can have that as well. That's like a pasta sauce. What I did work out is that passata is half the price and half the calories, but it lasts 2 to 3 times longer. So I started using passata sauce instead of the Slendia pasta sauce. So that's cool. It's all working pretty well. It's just the same kind of stuff, really. It's not particularly crazy. It's not super specific. There's no like special turnkey superfood. It's just eating the same consistent food over and over again every day. And so far that's been okay. And we're managing hunger levels really, really well. Energy is or was good until about 3 months in, which is about last week. And now I've reintroduced caffeine into my diet. So I went 3 months just without having coffee at all. And progressively that kind of started wearing me down. So now I get to have coffee again, which is exciting. And everything is pretty much coming up Millhouse from there. It's great. Coffee's great. Not too much, like a cup or two a day is the maximum dosage that I'm allowing myself to have. And obviously I'm having a non-stim pre-workout as well. So everything is low caffeinated. It's all good. Not allowed to have like any no sugar Cokes or anything like that, because that will have caffeine in it. So I just have to make sure that if I have any like low calorie soft drinks, that it doesn't have caffeine in it, basically. In terms of time, like where do I find the time to actually do this? Really, it's more about just sort of intelligent training. Obviously, you do need quite a bit of time management to actually prepare the meals. That is a real thing. Sometimes Sarah really helps me out, and she makes my lunches or puts them together at least, because we've got all the ingredients already pre-cooked in the fridge. So she might put them together for me, or make the 10 o'clock sandwich, so I don't have to make it when I get up in the morning, which is really, really handy. And it saves me quite a lot of time, which is really great. Other times, not so much, and then I'll have to sort of organize it the night beforehand. That's completely fine. You just have to plan ahead. You just need to know where you're going to be, what you're doing, and when in the day, so your sort of structure becomes a bit more rigid. And you do have to train just when you can, and just fit things in whenever you can. So if you've got like a small downtime period where you think you might be able to relax, just don't. And just get done everything else that you needed to do first, and then your relaxation time will come in at the end of the day once everything's completed, or it doesn't, and you just get to do nothing for that day. And that's how it works, I guess. It's just all errands. In terms of challenges, there's not a heap of like specific ones that I can actually label. Like drinking that much water in a day was really hard to adjust to, and now it's all fine. Organizing all my meals was sort of annoying, and I'm kind of on top of it now. Um, Energy ebbing and flowing and being a little bit hungry is obviously a little bit frustrating, but still very, very manageable. At this stage, nothing's hugely challenging, but it's just sort of like a small pyramid of inconveniences that are starting to kind of pile up that are sort of like, this is a very frustrating lifestyle to maintain. Obviously, like prep is not forever, but it is slowly building. So what I've kind of worked out in terms of like structure is once posing class starts next week, I'm going to start going to my 30 minutes of cardio in the morning, and then 30 minutes of posing classes so I can get home by 7, and then I can effectively start my day and then still go to the gym after work as per normal, or go straight after work, which means I'd be going to the gym around Melrose Park, and then getting home maybe 30 minutes earlier, depending on how fast I can work out it as well. So, but yeah, like weekends are fine. It's all good. There is some social qualms, I guess. That's probably the hardest thing is the social aspect of it. People go out and order food or get drinks, and you can't. Like you still go and you bring your Tupperware container and you be the guy with the weird packet of food, but you just can't eat anything or drink anything or yeah. Like I went to a birthday tonight, for example. It was Sarah's auntie's birthday, and we got there and like I could tell that she felt bad that I wasn't eating anything, and it was sort of one of those weird social interactions where you just sort of sit there and observe people eat, and it's just a bit odd. That's probably so far the biggest challenge. The actual dieting is fine, drinking water is fine, the posing that I've done has been okay. Once posing starts, I guess I'll assess that again. It's just the amount of time that it all takes and putting it all together is probably honestly the biggest challenge. It's the largest inconvenience is just the amount of sheer time and constantly needing to be on all the time, like knowing that you're going to have to work out after work, or knowing that you need to perk yourself up by a certain time. So I'll try and have a cup of coffee around about 1:30 or 2, which gives me enough of a perk up by the time I finish work, but not enough to the point where if I need to go to bed later on that night, can't get to sleep. Like these kind of weird timings where I have to kind of, again, pre-plan further forwards, those are kind of frustrating. But nothing specific so far. I also haven't really gotten deep into prep yet. Like we're still sitting at 15.3% body fat, which isn't that lean. Like it's leaner, but it's not that lean. So I haven't encountered the real like detrimental levels of hunger or thirst or real pain points yet. I'm sure I'll get there. And when I do, I'll get back to you. Yeah. Otherwise, that's currently where we're sitting in terms of where we're tracking. I think I'm tracking pretty well. Most weeks I'm hitting my target, which is 1.5% per fortnight of body fat loss. There was one fortnight that I lost 1.1, but that was the same fortnight that I got COVID, which means I wasn't allowed to work out at all. So I was kind of screwed. I just had to sort of sit around and do push-ups or something. So it was a bit difficult for me. Outside of that, though, yeah, we're pretty much on target. Food-wise is fine. Preparation-wise is fine. Time management-wise is fine. It's just putting all of those pieces in a line becomes a little bit more than most lifestyles would probably allow. And thankfully, we only have to do it for 3 more months. So it's not bad. Like I'd like to continue to be leaner, but I probably don't need to stay in a deficit indefinitely. You know what I mean? Hopefully that answers some questions. And I guess my next check-in will be this Saturday, which should be if it's the 5th today, or 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So the 8th or the 9th. I don't know. My calendar's a bit all over the place in my head, but effectively this Saturday will be the next check-in. So hopefully from there I was at 15.3, so I should be at 13.8% body fat at my next check-in to continue to remain on target. So The next video that I do for reference is probably going to be Saturday. It's probably going to be after that. And we'll see where we're sitting. No worries.